Alright, fans, welcome to Picks on the Bluffs NCAA Week 11 Pick'em. I'm your host, Richard Reed, and my co-host, Sam Sprout, all the way from Florida via Skype.
What's up?
As if you don't know, today is, what's your anniversary?
20 years. 20
20.
years to my lovely bride.
So she doesn't want to be on camera any?
I don't know where she's at. She's probably in there doing something. I don't know what she's doing.
She's come say hello to all the lovely people on YouTube.
Yeah, she'll come
watching.
in here in a minute.
Okay. So this week we got some good picks, some fun games. That LSU Alabama game was a close one all the way through.
Yeah, it was. We had picked LSU there. I didn't think it was going to be that close of a game. I thought it'd be a little bit more scoring, but it was a good game. Went into overtime in that, so I was impressed. And still, Alabama's in the top 5 still. So.
Well, I mean, you lose to the number 1, you're number 2,
Yeah,
and you only lose by 3.
You're not going to fall very far. I still wasn't very impressed with my Gators this week. They won, but it wasn't an impressive win.
Nah, not much.
So
my Tigers had an off week, so.
So you got a victory there, then, right?
It's currently a victory since we didn't play anybody.
Yeah.
I call that
kind of
a
like
victory.
the Jaguars last week.
Exactly.
So
let's go ahead and get to our picks. We're going to start off with a essential matchup in the ACC this Thursday night. Number 10 Virginia Tech at number 21 Georgia Tech, and this will pretty much decide who goes to the ACC championship.
Yep. I'm looking for Virginia Tech on this one.
You're looking for Virginia Tech.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. The only reason I'm picking Virginia Tech is I want to see Virginia Tech in the ACC championship because I'm figuring Clemson will pull it together this week and beat Wake Forest, which we'll pick that game later. But we'll show that we can beat Virginia Tech twice in the season. To show no good person that I know exactly what we're talking about.
Yep, I know where you're going with it.
And then also on Thursday night we have number 11 Houston at Tulane.
Wow. I went with Houston on that.
It's not really a big pick. Houston plays nobody, kills them, and gets up there. I guess you got to go with Houston.
Exactly.
All right, then we get to our Saturday game, starting off with the number 1 team in the nation at home against West Kentucky.
Yeah, Western Kentucky really hasn't done a whole lot for me. I mean, they've out of the top 25, so I'm going to go with LSU. They're strong. They got a good team right now, so I look for them to take it all.
I'm looking for them to play better than they did on last Saturday night, but
yeah,
I think they'll come out. They'll be at home with a victory. Number 2 Oklahoma State at Texas Tech.
That's pretty much a gimme there too. I'm taking Oklahoma State.
I wouldn't say it's as much of a gimme as the last game, but I still think that Oklahoma State will come out with the victory and go home with the victory. Number 3 Alabama at Mississippi State.
I'm gonna go with Alabama. I don't think the Bulldogs are doing too well there, so I'm gonna go with Alabama.
These Bulldogs actually started out a little bit better than they thought, and then it's just downhill from the start.
Yeah, they kind of fizzled out, you know.
But I just don't think they can pull the upset against Bama. So
no.
We'll see a big Bama win. Here's a big game for the week. Number 7 Oregon at number 4 Stanford.
I decided to take Stanford on this.
Mm-hmm.
I think Stanford might have been favored 3 points, but I mean that's only I think because they're at home. So I'm going with Stanford.
Oregon's been Oregon's been right there all season long. They played.
They're a sleeper.
They're pretty much a sleeper, but I still think Stanford's going to win it. They got their winning luck quarterback. Got a airplane going over, if you can tell.
Yep.
But Stanford's got their luck in their quarterback, but they not much luck on the field because it's all talent. So Stanford wins. Now here's one that might be an upset, but I'm not picking the upset. TCU at number 5, Boise State.
I didn't pick the upset on that either. I'm going to stick with Boise State on that.
I think Boise State's looking for a BCS bowl game.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm picking Boise State, as you heard. Next up, we have a SEC game. Tennessee at number 8, Arkansas, who beat South Carolina.
Yeah, Tennessee hasn't really been impressive. Arkansas, they played a good game last week. They really pounded South Carolina.
So you're picking Arkansas?
I'm going to take Arkansas, yeah.
Tennessee hadn't had a conference win all season, so I'm going to have to go with the baby back ribs. And then my game of the week, Wake Forest at number 9, Clemson. We're still in that top 10, baby.
Yeah, you're still hanging on there just by the
Edge of
your
our tail.
teeth there. But I'm going to go with Clemson on this as well.
I'm going with Clemson. Hopefully we can beat Wake Forest and clinch that ACC championship spot against, hopefully, Virginia Tech, and then we'll beat them again.
Yep.
All right, another big game. We got number 19 Nebraska at number 12 Penn State, who's had some big things happening on their campus.
Yeah, I was hearing today where he's going to go ahead and retire after this season. Should they ask him to go ahead and step down now? You know, it's up in the air. I'm kind of going to go ahead and take Penn State on this, even though there's going to be a lot of media there covering all that's going on. You know, Joe Paterno, he's an awesome coach. You know, one of the best. You know, he did his part. He reported it to his upper management, but he never followed through with it, never reported it to authorities. So it kind of falls back on him as well. It's one of his guys. So that's my take on it.
I didn't really follow it. I heard about it, and then it wasn't really anything I was too concerned about. What can you say? It's everybody just didn't do what they were supposed to do, except for Joe Pa, and then it just really fell back on him. But
yeah,
I don't think he should be taken out right now. Let him coach the last of his games this season.
Yeah, let him go ahead and finish the season out and retire on his own.
But I'm actually going to pick the upset in this one and take number 19 Nebraska.
All right.
With all the media coverage and shocking things, I think Penn State's not going to be focused on the game, and Nebraska's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick Nebraska in this one. Next up, I know this is the one you're looking at. Florida at number 13, South Carolina.
Yeah, the Gator playing the old ball coach there. South Carolina's coming off of a loss from last week with Arkansas. Florida, they won last week, but it wasn't nothing impressive. I mean, he's back. He's taking short snaps and that there. I look for him to shine a little bit more. I look for Dimps to come up and step up to the plate. You know, I think he made the Offensive Player of the Week for SEC this week, so that was impressive with his numbers there. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Gators on this one.
So you're picking the upset. Maybe South Carolina.
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
Well, you know what? I'm agreeing with you with another upset. I'm actually going to pick Florida over South Carolina, even though I really hate another airplane. A lot of airplanes going tonight, but I'm not a big South Carolina Gamecock fan. But Florida, will beat them.
Yep.
So next up we have Texas A&M, who you thought was doing actually pretty good. Now they're falling out of the top 25.
Yep.
At number 14, Kansas State.
I went with Kansas State on that.
Yeah. Some dust on my table. I actually picked Kansas State too. I thought about picking the upset again, but I just might as well see Kansas State win it. Oh well.
I think Kansas State's going to take it.
All right. Next up, we got another big SEC matchup. We got number 20 Auburn at number 15 Georgia.
That's a good game. I mean, even though Auburn's ranked 20 and Georgia's 15th, I think it's going to be a good game. I think Auburn's going to come out strong. They're definitely not a sleeper team, so I think Georgia's got enough talent there to hang on to the win, though. So I'm going to go with the Dogs on this one.
That's who I picked. I picked Georgia to win it. Who did Auburn play last week? Were they off or?
I think they was off. Yeah.
If not, oh well. They didn't play anybody, but Georgia played New Mexico State, and the first string didn't even play the second half. They scored 40 points first half.
Yeah. So I mean, they really blew it out.
So I'm thinking Georgia can beat. If Clemson can beat Auburn, I think Georgia can beat Auburn.
Yeah, Georgia's got pretty much an easy schedule the rest of the year with Auburn, and then I think, I think they should win out there. It sounds like Top Gun over there tonight, buddy.
My bad. I'll tell them to quit shooting out there.
Yeah, we're going to have to get a hold of the airport authority over there and tell them not to do this during our show.
I know. It's bad. All right, so next up we'll go with the next one. Number 16, Texas at Missouri.
Wow, I went with Texas on this one.
Texas does sound like a good choice to me.
And I think this week, too, Missouri's stepping up into the SEC for next year.
Oh, yeah, that's happening next year. They announced it Saturday.
Yeah, they announced it this week, so you got another one moving up in the SEC now.
Yeah. All right, next up, number 17, Michigan State at Iowa.
I'm going to go with Michigan State on this one.
That's who I went with, although I think it was Iowa who beat Michigan last week. I can't remember, but whoever played Michigan last week beat them. But I'm picking Michigan State in this one. Number 18, Wisconsin at Minnesota.
I'm going with Wisconsin on this one.
I think Wisconsin is another good pick. So UCF at number 22, Southern Mississippi.
UCF is falling out. I'm gonna go with Southern Miss on this one.
You mean you gotta go with Southern Miss? Maybe this is the first time. If not, oh well. This is the first time we've heard of UCF on our show this year.
Yeah.
And so
they had a strong team last year, but I mean I think they're falling apart there. They lost a lot of good players.
Yeah. So Southern Miss wins this one. West Virginia at number 23, Cincinnati.
I'm going with Cincinnati. Yep.
This is another one of my upsets. West Virginia is gonna upset Cincinnati.
You taking the Mountaineers, huh?
I mean, we're always talking about somebody. Either West Virginia gets back in and then loses, or they play somebody that just got in and then wins. So.
Yep.
I think West Virginia will keep that pace up. Even stay just staying right there, 23, playing them right there at 23. And then number 24, Michigan, who lost last week at Illinois.
I went with Michigan on this. I think they're going to rebound from their loss last week and pull it out.
I think Michigan will They got to bounce back. It's the quarterback who's doing it. I watched that game, and it's the quarterback who's trying to do all these fancy things to, I guess, make himself look good, but it's just be basic.
You need to go with a win first, you know?
So if he plays, Michigan could beat anybody, but he's not playing like he's supposed to. That's like It's like a Taj Boyd for Clemson. He'll try to run around and do all this and that, but just go for the win. That's all you gotta do.
And I mean, once you run up the points, then you can start playing around a little bit.
Have fun with it. And finally, number 25, Baylor at Kansas.
I'm gonna go with Baylor on this one.
I gotta go with Baylor. I think Kansas only has like 3 or 4 wins on the season, and since Baylor's ranked, we gotta go with them. All right, now our quick picks: North Carolina State at Boston College.
I'm going with NC State.
That's who I went with. Boston College has 2 wins, and NC State beat North Carolina last week. Duke at Virginia.
I'm going to go with Virginia on this one.
That's another agreement between us. Battle in Florida. Miami, Florida at Florida State.
I think I'm going to go, oh! I think I'm going to take the Florida State this weekend.
That's another agreement. Maryland at Notre Dame.
How about the Fighting Irish on this one? Yeah.
Sounds good to me. I picked against Notre Dame to beat, Wake Forest to beat Notre Dame last week and beat me by a touchdown. But I'm picking Notre Dame this week. Kentucky at Vanderbilt.
Kentucky's really not been strong this year, and Vanderbilt, they're coming off a loss against Florida last week. I'm gonna go ahead and take Vanderbilt on this one.
Vanderbilt's been all right. They're not getting crushed, but they're not up with the big SEC team. But I'm taking Vanderbilt in this one. And finally, Louisiana Tech at Ole Miss.
I'm gonna go with Louisiana Tech on this.
The only quick pick we disagreed on. I've got to stick with the SEC team.
Yeah, I know. Ole Miss really hasn't shined a whole lot this year, so I'm gonna go with Louisiana Tech to see what happens.
All right, so stay tuned. Our NFL will be up shortly, and we'll see you then.
All right, take it easy.
You too.